Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're doing well. I know just you guys had a math class on geometry and trig, right? How is everything going? Everything well? Okay, good. Go and get your ACT 10 book, please. Go to page 808. Make sure if you have your phones, they're on silent mode or turned off. Okay. Now I really hope you guys been doing the homework and catching up. You know what? Actually, I want to do a temperature check on this one. Face-to-face students, raise your hands if you've done all the homework so far. Better. We're all online students. Same question. Do a thumbs up or hands up, whatever, if you've done all the homework. Let's see, 3 of them. Let's see, 2 are missing. Gotta do the homework, guys. Got to do the homework. It's easy to stay behind. Now, today we're gonna shift our focus to ACT Science. Remember 2 Sundays back we did talk about the strategies, right? Okay, we talked about selecting the passages. Now you are actually gonna start doing the passages. Now on page 808 at the top we wrote the order of the passages, right? Could you tell me what are the first 2 we did?
7.
5 and 7, right? So you guys will be doing 5 and 7. Okay? Now, this is your first time doing this, so I want to kind of repeat few of the things. And listen to this very carefully. Students have 2 choices when you start a passage in science. Either read the passage and then get to the questions, which is something we do not recommend. What we recommend is to directly go to the question, read the question, and find the answer. I'm okay with both, either one of them for you guys, but stick to one and need a lot of practice. Sounds good? This will not, and then don't change it. Fair enough? So, that's what's going to happen today. Now, in the real test, you'll have 6 passages. This has 7. I know that. All right? So, what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to have a stopwatch here. I'm going to get one stopwatch. And then I'll give you an idea how much time you should take to finish 5 and 7. Okay? So, for example, 5 and 7, let's count how many questions are there. Let's count it for a second. How many number of questions are there? 5 has how many?
6.
5 is this is 5. Yeah. So 5 questions. 5 has 5. 7 has how many questions? I just want to talk about this timing structure here. 7. So 12 questions, right? So 12, and each question you get 52.5 seconds divided by 60 to find minutes, 10.5 minutes. All right? But I can guarantee if you take 10.5 minutes for the first 2 easy passages, you will not finish the test. So what I'm going to do today is to shorten it by a minute and a half. I'll give you guys 9 minutes. Do not start the passage, okay? I'm not given, don't start it. Few things to remember. Do not get stuck on a question. That's something I've seen, especially with this group. They get stuck and they forget to move on. You have to circle the question and keep moving. Sounds good? And I repeat this, when they say according to figure 1, the answer is in figure 1. If they say according to the study 1, the answer is in study 1. Nobody else. Sounds good? No calculator is allowed during the test. One of my students accidentally had the calculator in the real test just sitting there, and she was disqualified. She got a 35 in science, and it was a disqualified score. And we fought the battle, and of course they didn't accept it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, As soon as the math portion is done, which is English math, and then you get a break, you put the calculator back. Sounds good? Let me get the iPad, the stopwatch. Do not start the test, okay? You'll be doing two passages, 5 and 7. And here's what's going to happen. So some of you will finish the test before that 9 minutes, okay? I know that. So if you finish the test before 9 minutes, let's say it takes 7 minutes, 10 seconds, I want you to write down. Sounds good? The focus is about how you're timing your passages. Sounds good? Remember, if you had 5 extra minutes in the real test, we would never worry about the time. That is very carefully crafted 35 minutes. Sounds good? And some of you may not be done by 9 minutes as well. That can happen. But I'll pause the time at the time and I'll give you time to finish it. Today's intention is not to worry too much on time, is to worry about how it feels when you start the science test. The feel. And now you start getting an idea. Everybody ready? Passages 5 and 7. Do not get stuck on a question. Make sure to follow the order. You have 9 minutes. Your time starts now. Good luck.
Wait, what page is it?
Page 808 is the test. You have to go to passage 5.
Okay, thank you.
Time's up. How many need more time? You gotta be honest. Anybody online? Okay, one. Go ahead and finish those questions. If you have, I'm gonna give you one additional minute. All right. I'm going to read passage 5, 23 to 27. BFB HC. Please keep a tracker of how many got correct because I'll be asking you to add those at the end. Passage 7, 34 to 40. HAJ. AGD. And 40 is G. What's that?
Could you repeat those ones?
Question, passage 7.
Yeah.
HAJ. AGD. And 40 is G. Okay. Did anybody get all correct? Just raise your hands or do the thumbs up online. Okay, I see one online has got all correct. One wrong. One. Two wrong. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do you have any questions for me to work on? Do you have any questions for me to work on?
35.
35? Okay.
37.
35 and 37. Okay. Any other questions?
Can you also do 40?
What's that?
Can you also do 40?
So 35, 37, and 40. Okay. All right. So we did passage 5 and 7. What are the next two we had decided?
2 and 3.
Huh?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Count the number of questions, please. Total questions in passage 2 and 3.
9.
9. So I'm gonna give you guys 7 minutes, passage 2 and 3. Your time starts now. 7 minutes. Time's up. Does anybody need time? Need more time? Okay, good, continue. Anybody else need more time? All right. Are you getting a glimpse of how it's going to feel during that day or that moment? And imagine you have not done any of this and you show up for the test that day and you have no freaking clue, and this is what you're going to be given. Can you imagine that? Can you connect the dots here and see? That's why our students practice somewhere between 2,000 to 4,000 questions here by the time they're ready to take the test. That's our average. And if you don't do that, you'll be in for a big surprise. The surprise is you feel like a fish out of water. You just are so flustered that you start making silly mistake. You start thinking something else. Your focus shifts to something else, and then boom, and time gets done, and you wonder what happened. Sounds good? Remember when I taught science, I told you guys two words: focus and practice. That's what we're doing here. First time for this group, I'm trying to teach you how to focus. That group I'm giving them the practice. I think I can see they're prepared. So it's not an easy thing, okay? If you don't practice this, you just will be in for a big surprise. All right, so we had 3 questions people had asked, 35, 37, and 40. Okay, so let's start with 35, which is a kind of most asked question, I would say. Most people have picked the wrong answer as C. A lot of people have picked C as a wrong answer. Based on the passage, which of the following best represents oxygen level in one of the Great Lakes during the spring? In the middle of the passage, I'm going to read that statement there. Follow me if you can. In the absence of this thermal layering, wind continues to mix the water to a greater depth, bringing oxygen to the bottom of the lake and nutrients to the surface. This results in relatively even distribution of oxygen throughout the lake when summer arrives and continues. So what happens in spring is the oxygen concentration in the water, whether it's at the top or at the bottom, is the same, right? So the concentration is same. That means independent of the depth, whether it's at 0 feet, 0 meters, or 5 meters, or 10 meters, the oxygen concentration remains the same. That's why answer is A. 6 milligrams per liter is the concentration that remains same whether you get at the top or at the bottom. Sounds good? Because it's mixing, it's remaining constant. Look A and C. C is just a flipped version of it, right? C is saying that the oxygen concentration is changing at the same depth, which, right, that doesn't happen. So, how many got question number 35 correct without guessing? 1, 2. But you only one asked that question, right? See, if you have to ask questions, I don't mind picking up for every two passages 2 to 3 questions to do. Okay. Honestly, even if you had not asked, I would have planned to do 35 because I know this has happened before. Sounds good? How many wrote C as the answer? 1, 2, 3. That's the most common wrong answer. Does this make sense now? Okay, good. Let's go to 37. According to the passage, Lake Michigan experiences thermal stratification during. So again, for these questions, you have to know the passage. So I went all the way at the top. So I started reading through the. In winter, for example, the coldest water in the lake lies just below the surface ice. The water gets progressively warmer at deeper levels. In spring, the sun melts the ice, the surface water warms. Because the surface water is still cooler than the layers below, the water at the surface sinks to the bottom of the lake, forcing the cooler water at the bottom of the lake to the surface. This mixing, known as spring turnovers, eliminates the temperature stratification. So it's not spring, okay? Wind continues, so you can see wind continues to mix the water, and when summer arrives, the lake again becomes stratified. So spring is not included, but it happens during summer and winter. Make sense? Again, there's no other choice. You have to know the passage. There's not much you can do about it. Sounds good? Again, I don't know who asked, but if I'm not convincing in my explanation, you need to stop me. It's not how many passages we do here. It's how well we do a passage. Okay? The fundamentals of getting to an answer at a quicker, faster pace. Okay. Question number 40. Another hint, couple of strategies I want to talk about before I continue with this question. When I read, and again, this is just me, but I've been doing this for a long time. When I do any, till today, by the way, if it's in paper-based, I have the habit of underlining keywords. Okay? So, for example, in question number 40, the one I did underline was except. Okay? It's in clearly showing, but I just want to make sure that I don't forget that, okay? Based on the passage, the stability of thermal stratification depends on all of the following except. So I went to passage again. All the way at the bottom of the passage, it says, the stability of the lake's stratification depends on several factors: the lake's depth, shape and size, and wind, and both the inflow and the outflow. So looked at the depth, amount of wind, water inflow, seasonal turnover is not included. Make sense? I know today is the first time. You'll have to do this. You just have to do this. Otherwise, what will happen is, the reason I stress this is you guys have not gone through it. And I don't want you to experience that like some of the students from that group have. And they're like, oh my God, one of the students used the word flustered. And I thought that was a really good word to summarize how you feel if you're not prepared well. Flustered. Sounds good? I can add a couple more words, but flustered sounds good. Pissed off is what I hear a lot too. Passage 2. Passage 2, question numbers 8 to 11. And I want your attention so that we can keep moving fast, okay? G, D, J, A. Again, keep counting the correct because I'll be asking that. Passage 3, 12 to 16. J, D, F. C, G. So you had 7 questions. You had a total of 9 questions, right? 4 plus 5. So out of 9, did anybody get all correct? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Things are going to improve. It will improve. 1 mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any questions for me?
Number 10.
Okay, hold on. What did you say?
15.
15. Okay, 15.
Number
Hold on. 15. What did you say?
10.
15. 10. Oh, 10 here. Okay. I have 10 and 15. Somebody said online.
number 14.
So I have 10, 14, 15. Yeah,
16.
I have 16. So 10, 14, 15, 16. All right. We're running out of time. What's the next passage we had selected? Just one. What's the next one?
6.
How many questions?
6.
I'm gonna give you guys 6 minutes for 6 questions, and you can see as we move to the end, it's you need more time. Just one passage, okay? Because we're running out of time, and I want to address these questions. So you would ask me, I believe 10, 14, 15, 16. 6 minutes for passage 6. Your time starts now. Good luck. Time's up. Does anybody need more time? All right. Question number 10. I want to, and a little bit going forward, actually, please let me know who asked the question so it will be easy to address it. Okay? Who asked 10?
Me.
Okay. Studies have shown that existing homes in the same neighborhood can have very different radon levels. Are these findings consistent with information presented in the passage? So of course I have to look for it. So right in the third paragraph, it says the only way to detect radon levels is through testing using a specialized sensing device. Radon is colorless and odorless, and the levels are constantly changing from one area to the next and from one day to the next. So the answer was last one, J. Yes, because radon levels are vary depending on many different factors. What did you pick as an answer? G? No, because radon seeps into all homes in the same way. It says there, and the levels are constantly changing from one area to the next and from one day to next, so it cannot be seeping the same way. If it is seeping the same way, then you have to test only one home, and then you don't have to test any other homes, right? Right? Okay. Make sense? Okay. I just want to make sure I'm convincing. I just don't want to just say the answer just for the heck of it. It has to be convincing. It has to make, this is science. Science has to make sense. Okay. Question 14. Who asked 14?
That was mine.
Okay. Based on figure 1 during the first year predator numbers. Okay. So I went to figure 1 and I immediately observed that the predators and the preys are always opposite, right? If one goes up, the other one is down at the same point. So they're always opposite. If the predators are more, there'll be less prey. If the prey is more, predators are less. So the answer is F, were inversely related to the prey numbers. And actually, I happened to stumble upon in the passage, last paragraph of, it also says, again, you don't have to look for it, I just stumbled upon it. Over long periods of time, predator and prey tend to balance each other out. This is called predator-prey cycle. Prey numbers will increase when predator numbers decrease. They're inversely related, right? Again, if you're not convinced in my explanation, you have to stop me and say, hey, I'm not convinced yet. 15, last 15. Okay. Studies have shown that a certain species of deer will only eat a specific type of plant found in the deer's natural habitat and nothing else. Is this finding supported by the information in the passage? Look at the table number 1, herbivore. It says eats plants only, can be very selective in the plants that it eats. So the answer is C. Yes, because a deer is a herbivore and herbivores can be selective eaters. Now, I have a question for you. Did they say in the passage that deer is a herbivore? Anywhere? No. That's where it gets interesting. It's called, am I supposed to know it as a student taking ACT that a deer is a herbivore? Right? Am I right? Right? This is called pre-knowledge, that you're supposed to have that knowledge to answer this question. Technically speaking, they're supposed to throw this question out because the science reasoning test means the information has to be there and you have to extract the information, right? This prior knowledge question, what we famously call as PKQs, prior knowledge questions, has becoming more and more. It used to be 0, now it is around 1 or 2 actually. That's a lot, okay? So, can I say that you're supposed to know this? I don't know. Yeah.
It says that a deer is a herbivore in the table.
It does say that? Oh, I didn't find it. So, but I knew it, so I didn't have to look for it. But it does say, then yeah, then you have to know it. Then it's an easy one. Then see, I didn't even know it. I didn't even look for it. I just knew deer is a herbivore, so I looked for that information. Thanks for that. Can you tell me where it is?
It's in the table.
What's that?
It's in the
Oh, the examples. Well, duh, I didn't even look at the examples. Yeah, that makes it easy then. I was like, I was a little. I would have been a little surprised that they would have expected us to know that. But 16. Who asked 16? Yeah. Based on figure 1, during which year were the greatest number of prey animals available? So I went to figure 1. Prey is the dotted ones, not the cross mark dotted ones. It peaks near year 2. It's not at year 2, it's near year 2. So remember, in science, you're looking for the best answer, not the correct answer. The answer choices are 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it towards 1 more than 2? It's near 2 than 1. Right, Matthew? Did you pick 1?
Yeah.
That is what we call the best answer versus the correct answer. Make sense? Good. I'm going to read out the passage 6 answers, and I would like you to work on the mistakes of passage 6 on your own. Okay? I'll give one for you to make. If you still don't get it, of course, you got to contact me right away. Passage 6 is 28 to 33. All right, here you go. G, D, G, D, F, B. I repeat. D, G, D. Sorry. I repeat. G, D, G, D, F, B. How many got all correct? I see 3, 4. 1 wrong. Okay. Work on the mistakes. If you still don't get it, you got to contact me. So we're left with 2 more passages. Am I right? So next time, of course, we're going to finish those 2 passages. But next test, when we go to practice in science, instead of doing 2 passages, we're going to do 3 at a time. And I'm going to put a little bit more crunch on the time. You have to sweat it out here, because then you don't have to sweat it out in the real test. I'll see you guys next week, next Sunday. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Take care, guys.